Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel.
Welcome back. This is a sample video for our latest podcast, episode 116, which is a potluck podcast. A mix of a bit of this and a bit of that.
That's right. We start by talking about an interesting experience we had on New Year's Eve.
Yeah, and we answer a listener's question that was sent to us about vegans giving away backyard eggs.
We also look at a brand new film coming out this year called Gunda, which is incredible.
Yes, and talking about films, we also discuss the new Netflix mockumentary. What is it called? Dead to 2020?
Death to 2020.
Death to 2020.
Fantastic.
We have a good laugh. Very funny. Yes.
We also look at a couple of news articles and respond to them on the dairy industry in major publications in both the UK and the US.
Yes, as always, incredibly frustrating. So we hope you enjoy watching this short sample. If you'd like to listen to the full podcast episode, you can join us on Patreon, which is linked below in the description under this video.
Enjoy the video and we will speak to you soon.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
So we're talking 29 or 30 years ago.
A few lines. I don't care what the year was. Come on.
All right, stop. Collaborate and listen. Ice is back with a brand new invention. Something grabs a hold of me tightly, flow like a harpoon, daily or nightly. All right, I'm going to stop now. Anyway, so we hear the opening tune and we're thinking, oh great, it's Vanilla Ice, Ice Ice Baby. It was Queen's Under Pressure, which we also like, but we've got an association with that song.
Yeah, so of course, so many of you would have already watched Gary Yourofsky's Best Speech Ever. And that is the video that's what turned us vegan. And during his speech, the video that's on YouTube, in the middle of it, he plays some very graphic footage of what happens on farms to animals, and it's to the music.
And slaughterhouses.
And slaughterhouses, yes. And it's to the song Under Pressure from Queen. And so as soon as we realised that that's what she was playing, the mood for us just bang, it just shifted, it just dropped, and we couldn't look at each other. Like I had tears in my eyes, I had a lump in my throat.
Same.
And it was just like we were saying to each other, don't do it, don't
go there.
Don't go there. Don't go there, don't bring the night down. And we said to each other like, don't talk about it now, we'll put it in the podcast. And so this is kind of like, we haven't even debriefed. This is like our release. This is where we're going to discuss things. And for me, it was just like a constant reminder that no matter how much fun we have or these little distractions that we have in our lives as humans, for the animals, they're constantly in hell. And I felt so dragged down, and I felt, if I'm honest, I felt guilty for having a good time. I felt guilty for being out and listening to music and dancing and just doing stuff that had nothing to do with helping them. And that's ridiculous because we all need that. We need that balance, whether we're out on New Year's Eve or not is not going to stop the breeding and slaughter of billions of animals around the world. We have to enjoy and live our lives. And yet that reminder was just gut-wrenching.
Yeah, I concur with everything you've just said, and I had the same tears in my eyes and lump in my throat and the same awful association. And I don't know, I just felt like I could hear the animals say, we're still here.
Yeah.
It said, so eating their own eggs helps them get back nutrients they lose from excessive laying.
Yes.
So yes, that is correct. In addition, when you take the eggs away from the hens, it forces them to lay more eggs to replace the ones that were taken away, because they have the natural inclination to lay and then to nest.
Yeah, exactly. So the more we take, the more they lay, the more they will be nutrient deficient. And so it's a vicious cycle, basically. So we shouldn't be interfering with this cycle. And it was funny, actually, I'm taken back to, oh gosh, so many years. We used to live in Ecuador, and we had
2012 it was
it really? And we had some friends, and we had just finished reading The World Peace Diet by Dr. Will Tuttle. Loved that book, eye-opening, life-changing, blah blah blah. So we're telling our friends about it, and she was like, oh, I love that book too. And she had it on her phone, but she wasn't vegan. And then we started talking about eggs, because we're in Ecuador and everyone has
a rural property with backyard hens.
Right. And she said, what's the problem with eating these eggs? They're so happy. Look at the chickens. I don't hurt them. And I'm like, well, you've just read the World Peace Diet, so why do you even need to ask that question, woman? Anyway, I thought there's nothing I can add more that Dr. Will Tuttle hasn't explained to you. So I turned around and said to her, I think her name was Anna, said, Anna, just because something falls out of a chicken's ass doesn't mean we need to eat it.
Just as blunt as that.
I'm like,
And
really?
it's something we still use to this day occasionally.
Yeah,
don't we?
like, why do you have to take it and put it in your mouth? Why? Because you've been indoctrinated to think that that's food? It's not.
Among those caught in the battle to win the hearts and minds of dairy consumers is a small group of animal welfare scientists quietly working to answer knotty questions.
What's a naughty question?
It means it's morally grey.
How about you put yourself in the animal's position,
And then you got your answer.
right? It's not naughty when someone's shooting you in the head and slitting your throat. It's not naughty when someone's raping you and kidnapping your baby. That's not naughty. That's black and white. It's wrong and you wouldn't want it. It's only naughty when it's about someone else that you make money from.
And who's producing
Ooh.
something that you're addicted to and enjoy
Right?
the taste of.
You don't need to, again, you don't need to be a scientist to work this out. You just need to be a logical,
Non-speciesist.
decent human, which is hard to come by these days, apparently, with articles like this.
So one of these knotty questions,
There we go.
are cows that spend their entire lives confined indoors unhappy?
Oh my God. Have you been unhappy in 2020 when you
During
spent
lockdown?
a couple of months of your life on this planet indoors?
And-
Mind you, with Netflix?
Does the separation of a newborn calf from its mother result in quantifiable anguish?
Are you out of your mind? Have you heard the screams? I mean, some of the worst sounds, and Gary Yourofsky said this, right? Some of the worst sounds he's ever heard from animals is that of a mother cow crying out for her baby. I mean, they are heart-wrenching. And this grief from the mother can be expressed for days after giving birth.
And also, the calves cry out for their
Crying.
mothers when they're in the pens,
Yes.
in the holding yards at slaughterhouses.
Yes, it's awful.
And are there ways to improve the life of a dairy cow that are both scientifically sound and economically viable?
I hate this so much. I hate this so much. Again, all this person has to do is put themselves in this position to ask those questions of their own lives. Does the separation of my newborn baby from me as a mother result in quantifiable anguish? Well, what do you reckon, Einstein?
Oh, but they're different. They're just animals.
Incredible.